Welcome to this week's social media wrap. Coming up, SABC Digital News attended a makers meetup at the Johannesburg's newest high-tech address, the Timologong precinct in Braamfontein, where we find out more about what tech entrepreneurs are up to.
So I'm a guy who likes to invent, so I built this robot out of trash. So the main purpose of building these things is that I wanted my talent to be recognized so that one day I'll be able to make something that will simplify people's lives.
But first, let's look at the major trends of the week with Tanya Curry.
I think it comes as no surprise that one of the biggest peaks this week is Sean the Sheep Abrahams. If we have a look at the charts, we'll see over a timeline that Sean Abrahams came in as the biggest peak on the 13th of August. It comes in as the second largest story over a 7-day period. If we look at the other big stories, one of the biggest stories is the death of ProKid. ProKid was one of the biggest stories last week, and it has extended across into this week. This week sees the anniversary of Marikana. That particular story comes in as the 4th largest story this week. Another big story that made an impact on the net sentiment ranking is NSFAS. That particular story coming in with a negative net sentiment rating of 81.5%. Another one that gives us a big negative net sentiment is the Lost Boys of Bird Island. And finally, Mama Sobukwe. That particular story coming in with a positive net sentiment because of all the outpouring of celebration of her life, and that comes in at a positive sentiment of 45%.
Journalists are always chasing stories, but a lot of the times the stories come to us. Did you know on SABC News' Facebook page, you can submit your tip? Help us out. Get your story out and get your story told. For now, it's time to have a look at what you've liked this past week on sabcnews.com. The top stories on sabcnews.com as liked by users is the announcement of the deaths of Queen of Soul Aretha Franklin and hip-hop artist ProKid. Close on its heels, users were very interested in TV personality and gym fanatic Sibahle Mpisane, who was in an accident. The story on South African advocate Dali Mpofu, who will lead a legal team to challenge the Zimbabwe elections outcome, also brought traffic to our website. And finally, users were interested in Johannesburg Mayor Herman Mashaba defending his US President Donald Trump tweet. The Tech Meetup is an informal evening to meet and grow innovators and the community of Timologong's tech entrepreneurs. It's a platform to share projects to collaborate on, catch up on news from fellow makerspaces, and of course to tinker, hack and make something together.
It's about collaboration, it's about co-creation, it's about doing things together because it's much easier to do things in a shared fashion than trying to do it on your own. Many startups, many tech entrepreneurs don't have the resources, don't have the space, don't have the expertise that they might require to take their ideas and get it into reality. So what a makerspace is a place to come together as a community, learn from each other, teach something, share the space, share the resources so that everyone can win.
Tech is something that is a way of life. I mean, when last did you have your cell phone die on you and you were miles away from your charger? Well, that's because tech, it really is so integral to our lives, and that's why we need to be very deliberate about what we do with regards to making sure that people have access to growing their business in the tech space, as well as making it accessible to people that want to pay for it and people that want to help them develop it.
That's it for your social media wrap. For SABC News in Braamfontein, I'm Nina Oosthuizen.